Parish Church. It's only really been reopened as its renovated church for a few weeks now. So the new sound system, the new lighting, and thank goodness the new heating system is working this evening. So thank you very much for coming along to this very special event. I got a call last Wednesday from Gordon's office to ask whether or not we would like to do a public meeting for the general election campaign on the topic of the general election and Brexit. And given the election campaign is so frantic, I turned around to my wonderful team and said, I've just had Gordon on the phone, I think we should do a public meeting. Their hearts sank. And tonight we've managed to put this on, not because you're coming, Gordon, but to put this on in a week. So thank you so much for everyone turning out this evening. You're in for a real treat. You don't want to hear from me. I'm Ian Murray. I'm dissolved, so I'm no longer your Member of Parliament. I'm your Labour Party candidate for the general election on the 12th of December. And the reason I'm so pleased tonight is because we've got two wonderful speakers to talk about some of the big issues of the day who I'll introduce when they're going to speak. The format of this evening will be Gordon will speak for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll hand over to Keir Starmer, and then it's over to you for all your questions on the issues that have been raised or anything that you want to raise with regards to the election. I just want to mention two things about the election. The first thing is this. The Prime Minister called this election as the Brexit election rather than having a referendum on the European Union. And I've been going around the doors, I've maybe knocked on some of your doors in the last 3 weeks, but we've spoken to 8,000 people already in this election campaign, and people are mentioning Brexit. The three big issues that we're hearing consistently, door after door after door, that we speak to people on, is what's happening with regards to the UK leaving the European Union, Scottish independence and how that fits in to that particular issue, and indeed public services, education, health, social care, our roads and pavements, our council funding is all right to the heart of this campaign and something we should be reflecting on and talking about. So let me welcome you all and let me hand over to my great friend who is a great support here in South Edinburgh. Gordon and I share many things in common. The one thing we don't share is that when Gordon stood as the candidate to be Member of Parliament for Edinburgh South in 1979, he lost. It's the only thing that diverges our two political paths. So I hope that Morningside Parish Church will give a very warm welcome to the former Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Gordon Brown.
With Ian and with Keir, and with all of you who have come out for this meeting. I've been in Morningside Parish Church on a number of occasions. Some of you will remember this was where John Smith's funeral was held, and I remember being there. And I've been here when Martin Griffiths was here, Member of Parliament. And it's a pleasure to see such a wonderful refurbished church. Some of you may know that my father was a minister, and he always told me that we had to be sensitive to the fact that in every congregation there were people of all different views. And whatever your own view was, you had to take account of the fact that you would have different people from different political parties. And he told me a friend of his had a solution to this problem of being sensitive to people's views, but making it clear where he stood. On the Sunday after the election, if his own party won, they would announce the hymn, "Now thank we all our God." And if the opposition won, they'd announce the hymn, "Dear Lord and Father of mankind, forgive our foolish ways." Because if a third party or fourth party won, oh, God works in a mysterious ways. I'm delighted to be here to speak in favour of Ian Murray. Sometimes you come across someone, I think that's my microphone, I do have problems with microphones, as you probably know from me. Sometimes you come across someone who by their hard work and by their determination makes things happen. You come across someone who by their enthusiasm, by their idealism, by their compassion, changes things for the good. Such a man is Ian Murray, and I'm very proud that he's I want to support him. First of all, he is an assiduous local Member of Parliament. There are few people who don't don't know someone who's been helped by Ian Murray. Secondly, he's a champion of Edinburgh, and I think even people who are not Heart supporters would say that. And of course, I applaud the campaign he's been running to deal with the scandal of the Children's Hospital here, because it should be open, but it should be open up to a high standard, and we should not be spending £1.5 million a week to keep a hospital open. Not only does that, but he has stood up for Scotland in Britain, and he has been one of the most vociferous people, and I'm really proud of this, for standing up for Britain's membership of the European Union. And I do thank him for all he's done. He rightly said that there's another reason why I admire him. He won a seat that I couldn't win in 1979. I do remember John Smith and Robert Cook and George Fax, some of you will know, who were from Linden, Edinburgh, John just around the corner. And they suggested when I was a student that I should stand for office. And I was a student at Edinburgh University, and I lived here for 25 years. And they said, well, why don't you stand for the council first? And I said, well, look, I don't know much about council finance. I don't know much about rates and all that sort of thing. And you probably think when I was Chancellor, I didn't really know much about it. And one of them, I'm not named where it was, said to me, look, friend, if we were going to win this council seat, you wouldn't be the candidate. And I remember in 1979, I thought the answer was to hold loads of public meetings. So I organised through a night for about 8 nights in a row in every part of what was a spread out constituency, which extended actually beyond the boundaries of Edinburgh at that time. And I was hoping for big audiences. And I got a few at the first meeting on that night, a few at the second meeting on the first night. I got to the third meeting, and there were 2 people there. One of them was the chairman, and he said, do you think I could leave? I've got something better to do. So that was my experience of what was a very Scottish campaign in 1979. I'm also delighted to be speaking with Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer has seen off Brexit Secretary after Brexit Secretary, from David Davis to what's his name, Dominic Raab. As we say in Scotland, Brad C. Brexit. And of course, he is a person who's had to go out almost every second day to correct misstatements that have been made by the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. And what do you say about this man, Boris Johnson? What do you say? Master of detail? Never puts a foot wrong? Unimpeachable integrity? Sound judgment? What's that phrase that is used about Boris Johnson, about GSOH? Have you seen that on the internet? GSOH? Good sense of honesty, perhaps? There was a poll done a few weeks ago, and they looked at all the terms that people were prepared to attribute to Mr. Johnson. 4% said that he was Churchillian. 2% said he was statesmanlike. 2% said he was diplomatic. It's not very good after you've been foreign secretary. 33% said he was untrustworthy. And in Scotland, the biggest word, the word that was used most of all, I'm afraid it's almost embarrassing to say it, was 55% buffoon. It's such a thing. If you want someone who's got master of detail, if you want someone who's got unimpeachable integrity, if you want someone to speak up on Europe and cannot be doubted for the truth of what he says, it's Keir Starmer, and I hope you'll enjoy listening to him this evening. That Ian has just mentioned. The future of Britain in Europe, the future of Scotland, and what's going to happen to our public services. And I think they all come together with one clear statement. The Conservatives want Scotland to be in Britain, but not in Europe. The SNP want Scotland to be in Europe, but not in Britain. Ian and I, the Scottish Labour Party, want Scotland to be in both Britain and Europe, and I believe that's the correct position to stand for. This way, if the Conservatives were to win your vote on the basis that they're best to defend the Union, make no mistake about it, on Friday morning, Boris Johnson will be saying, that is his mandate. Your vote is his mandate for Brexit. And if the nationalists win your vote because you think they will stand up best on Europe, what they'll say the night after the election is everybody who's voted for them has voted for independence and a new referendum. The only person that can actually stand up for both Scotland in Britain and Scotland in Europe is going to be Ian Murray, your Labour candidate. And I want to explain why I think that you have to vote for Ian, not just because he's a great MP, but because of the issues that are now before us. You see, when you look at the economic consequences of both Brexit and Scotland leaving Britain, you're face to face with what is essentially more austerity. If Boris Johnson has his way, as we know he wants, and it was stated in a video he did only a few days ago, he is not going to allow the Brexit negotiations for the full deal, for the final deal, to go beyond December next year. He made a deal with Nigel Farage, in my view, and with Donald Trump, who was involved in this, and they decided that he would say, to get Brexit people on board, that if there was no deal agreed by December the 31st, then he'd leave with no deal next year. But the consequences of that are enormous for our country. Think of medical supplies if there was to be this no deal. You know, 1 million consignments of medical items come in every day from Europe. They are vital for insulin, they're vital for EpiPens, they're vital for flu vaccines, they're vital for so many things that we take for granted. They don't come from manufacturing in Britain, they come from a market that extends across Europe. And look at food. 30% of our food now comes from the European Union. It used to be a lot less, but it is 30% now. And of course, fruit and vegetables and so on are mainly coming from Europe and not produced in this country. And so if you lose access for some time to 30% of your food, then you're in real danger. And then components for industry come in and out and go back and forward as cars are made, as airplanes are made, as many of the pharmaceutical and other goods are made. So we cannot give a mandate to someone that will allow them to declare a no-deal Brexit. And that's why it's important for its economic consequences. And then take what Nicola Sturgeon has said. You know, I agree with her that leaving Europe will have severe consequences for the Scottish economy. And she has said, and a study that was done by Strathclyde University, that 100,000 jobs might be in jeopardy, $1 billion of investment, £1,600 per head of our national income, all at risk if we leave Europe in the way that the government is planning to do. But you know, she's got to apply the same logic that she applies to leaving Europe to leaving Britain. And if there are economic consequences for leaving Britain leaving Europe, there are massive economic consequences also for Scotland leaving Britain. I think it's often forgotten that 14.9 billion of our trade is with the mainland Europe and the Irish Republic. 14.9 billion. But 50 billion of our trade is with England, Wales and Northern Ireland. 3 to 4 times as much as the trade with the whole of the European continent. 2 billion of trade we have with Germany, 2.5 billion with Netherlands, 2.5 billion with France, but 50 billion, most of it, with England. And the economic consequences of leaving, if you have, as I know we would have, a hard border between Scotland and England, if the SNP wants to get into Europe, then there's got to be a border somewhere, and that will be an exit wall. But if the economic consequences for leaving Europe are so big for Scotland, then 3 or 4 times these consequences would be visited upon us in jobs, in our national income per head, in the investment in our economy, because of the disruption of trade that will inevitably happen between Scotland and England. So at some point, instead of talking just about a referendum and talking just about independence as a theory, the SNP have got to tell some vital truth about the consequences of independence, about what it actually means for people's lives and their jobs. And not just that there's going to be a hard border and the effect on trade and jobs and investment, but the policy, which is a new policy since 2014, for creating a separate Scottish pound. And a separate Scottish pound would mean that we have to have reserves we don't have at the moment, we'd have to have a fiscal surplus and we've got a deficit at the moment, and we'd have inevitably to face a devaluation of that pound. So if you've got a mortgage that is being paid to a UK bank, then that will mean what Scottish banks are UK banks, is to be paid in pounds, and the pound in Scotland is devalued, and your pension or your wages are paid in Scottish pounds, it'll cost you 20% more. It's as bleak as that when you look at the economics of independence. And so neither Brexit nor Scotland leaving Britain does anything to solve the basic economic problems we face. But you know, it's about more than that. It's about whether you support divisive nationalisms across this country. And I'm worried about Brexit nationalism, and I'm worried about Scottish nationalism, because they need an enemy, even when an enemy doesn't exist. Because it's a us versus them that is always being presented as a struggle that is taking place. Because it thrives on resentments, whether they're imagined or real. And because it's absolutist, it's asking you to make a choice between being Scottish and British that you don't ever need to make. And of course, it's absolutist in the other sense. It's independence or nothing less. Brexit, hard Brexit, or nothing less. That's the business of nationalism, to create the division that makes it possible for it to thrive. And surely the alternative that we've got to explain is cooperation. The alternative is working together. The alternative is solidarity across nations. The alternative is reciprocity between nations. It should be, instead of enmity, it should be empathy. Instead of separation, it should be solidarity. Instead of recriminations or resentments, it should be that reciprocity. And instead of conflict, cooperation. And you know who taught me that? Nelson Mandela. I had the privilege of knowing Nelson Mandela over many years before he died, and where he was president and after he was president of South Africa. And the one thing he taught us is that above and beyond cooperation, solidarity and empathy, we have to send out a message of hope about the future. Something that I feel is lacking in this election so far. And I met Mandela, I brought him to London so that we could celebrate his 90th birthday. And we had this party for him that was to raise money for his charity. And he donated a letter he'd written, which was Letter to a Child, and he had it on this board, and he had people bidding in an auction to get it. And he had a whole of Hollywood there, he had Bill Clinton and all these people there, and they were all bidding exaggerated sums of money. And they had Forrest Whitaker, they had Will Smith, they had Thompson, they were all bidding. And suddenly the bidding got down to only 2 people. And that was Oprah Winfrey versus Elton John. And we were sitting at the same table as me and Mandela. And we were bidding against each other, so it went to 500,000 Oprah, 600,000 Elton, 700,000 Oprah, 800,000 Elton, 9,000 Oprah, and then Elton John pulls out. And just about that time, I think that Oprah Winfrey was told she was paying in pounds and not dollars. At that time, before Brexit, it cost her twice as much. And then we had this event where we had all the pop singers of the world to play to raise money for Nelson Mandela's foundation. And it was very funny because I was sitting next to Mandela House and I could explain who these pop groups were, and I was the worst possible person to have to go. And we went down to the interval and we met all the singers, and of course the late great and sadly lost Amy Winehouse rushes up to him and says, "Mr. Mandela," she says, "your husband and you have a great deal in common." And Mandela's stumped, he doesn't know what to say. "Yes," she says, "both of you have spent a long time in prison." But Mandela told me this story, and I want you to remember this story, that when he was in prison, he had very few possessions, but one of them was a facsimile of a painting. It was a painting entitled Hope, and it was by Frederick Watts, and you can find it in the Tate Gallery, you can find it on the internet, you can see it. And when you look at this painting, first of all, this was the facsimile he had in his prison cell, he managed to get hold of it. When you look at this painting, first thing you think, this is not hope, it's desolation. Because it's a young girl perched on a globe of the world, trying to play a harp with a broken string while blindfolded. You know, almost impossible to try and play a harp with broken blind. And of course the message that Mandela took out of it, even in the most hopeless situations, you have to have hope. Hope must survive, and you must keep trying all the time. And I do believe that what we need now in this country is a message of hope, that we can unite this country that we can end the divisions between Scotland, England, Britain, Europe, that we can find a way of linking communities together and end the bitterness and the trolling and the divisiveness that is happening on the social media. Think what we can achieve when we do work together and never stop believing that we can create a better world. And I believe the first step to doing this here in Edinburgh is to elect Ian Murray as your MP. Thank you very much.
Inspiring 20 minutes of his anecdotes and his stories and his passion and his lessons for us all. And I'm sorry that I'm not moving in front of the table. The new sound system here in Morningside Parish Church means we have to talk in front of this bar, so apologies for that. While Keir's getting his microphone ready, I wanted to tell you two quick anecdotes. One related to Gordon. I was in Gilmerton 2 days ago knocking on doors, and this lovely lady answered. She told me she was 92, voted Labour all her life. And was slightly undecided what to do this time, but I'd received a wonderful letter from Gordon Brown, and that had persuaded her. And I said, "Isn't that wonderful? So you'll be voting for me then?" She went, "No, I'll be voting for Gordon." It took some time to get over that particular issue. And in another wonderful story last week, Hannah from my office, when we go out door knocking, we're all branded in the red jackets with Murray Labour on the back so that we can be visible and also we can find each other in the dark, which is one of the disadvantages, of course, of winter elections. And she was given a name and went down the pathway, knocked on the door, and this woman answered. I've never seen anyone so excited to see a canvasser for a political party on their doorstep, until Hannah realised that actually the woman thought she was from the postcode lottery. Much to her disappointment, I'm not sure we'll be getting her vote after we brought her down to earth. Anyway, back to the serious point of this evening. I'm absolutely delighted that Keir Starmer's been able to come up to Edinburgh this evening to talk to us about Brexit. But the history books are written about this turbulent period in British politics. One of the names at the very top of the list will be Keir's. He has been analytical at being able to disrupt the government's policies, the government's deals, and every single Brexit secretary, but also Prime Minister, that Keir has faced on this particular issue. He's seen them all off to date, and that's because he has been the voice of sense in this entire debate about the European Union. I'm delighted that we're able to hear him this evening, so please give a very warm welcome to Sir Keir Starmer.
Thanks to all of you for coming this evening. It's fantastic to see so many people here, and I'm really looking forward to your questions in just a minute. It's a real privilege and pleasure for me to follow Gordon Brown, who was one of those key players in such a successful Labour government over those years. And when I contrast what that Labour government with Gordon achieved in those years to what we're going through now, it's a matter of despair. That government did so much for young people, for working people, for older people, whether it's schools, hospitals, you name it, Sure Start. Contrast that with the last 10 years. And I often ask myself, what actually has this government achieved in the last 10 years? One positive thing. And the only thing any audience ever gives me is gay marriage. Nothing else this government has achieved. So that contrast is absolutely amazing. I'm really pleased to be here, and I'm here to support Ian as well, who is a fantastic advocate in Parliament for his constituents, passionate for his constituents, a really powerful voice for his constituents, and a very, very strong voice on Remain. And a pain in my ear a lot of the time on Remain. He's been driving me on. As he would readily admit, saying you haven't gone far enough, you're not strong enough, you have to get the shadow cabinet to move further on this. And I can honestly say that but for Ian and his pressure, along with others, on us, I'm not sure we've got to the position we've got to with our manifesto that was launched today, about which I'm going to say a few words in a minute. So it's a real pleasure to be here. at this re-electean session this evening. And Gordon mentioned the Brexit secretaries that I've had to shadow. I won't go through all of them, but David Davis was the first, and in a sense my favourite. I quite like David, and he's actually got quite a strong human rights record, but his whole approach to Brexit negotiations was absolutely incredible, because he genuinely thought that the less he knew of the detail, the better. That somehow it would all emerge, that actually understanding it was a big mistake. And in the end, the German car industry would so want deals with us that they'd give us anything, and that Northern Ireland could be resolved with a drone in the sky. And you'll recall that famous picture of him for the first meeting of negotiations with Barnier. There was a brilliant picture with Barnier and his team, sort of files of papers all marked up ready to start negotiations. There's David Davis there with his glasses case, and not even a scrap of paper or a pen to start the most important negotiations of the Second World War. I could go on, but I won't. I want to start actually, because we're going to dive straight into Brexit, with the stakes at this election, because they are really, really high, and I think that has to be uppermost in our mind. Because the Johnson deal that is on the table, and that will be the basis for his government if he wins, is a very, very bad deal. And that has to be the starting point for us. It's a very, very bad deal for the United Kingdom, because it doesn't even aspire to keep us close economically to the EU, or aspire to keep any of the collaboration and cooperation that is there in place. It's a very, very bad deal. All of the references to us having a close economic relationship with the EU, which were in Theresa May's deal, have been stripped out. This is a far-right Brexit deal. It involves us stepping off the level playing field. One of the things that's been most important, certainly in recent years, as far as the EU is concerned, is the level playing field. The idea that if you are going to compete in the market that is the EU, you have to do so on level terms, and that means you can't exploit working people in one country at the expense of working people in another country. That you've got to have common standards for your consumer goods, and that you all have to operate the same standards for the environment, really critical issues. This deal junks that. It steps off that level playing field. And Johnson's approach is to say that's the whole point of Brexit. The chance to walk away from all of that, to get off that level playing field. And it'll be everybody that relies on those workplace rights, those standards, and those environmental protections that will pay the price for that. But it's also bad because it puts a border in the Irish Sea. And this issue of Johnson's casual relationship with the truth couldn't be more obvious in this respect, because we got his deal through on the Thursday, we analysed it, every single page of it, every single line, and it is obvious, and it has written in the deal what the border checks will have to be in the Irish Sea. And yet he stood at the dispatch box in Parliament and said there will be no checks in the Irish Sea. That's the man. He didn't say there will have to be, I'll explain what they are, I'll make them as minimal as possible. He just said they won't be there. And he's either not really saying the deal, not telling the truth, or probably both. But it puts an internal border down that sea. That has a massive impact on Ireland, and the history of Ireland, and the politics of Ireland. But it also has a massive ramification elsewhere, because the United Kingdom doesn't have internal borders. And this is going to introduce one for the first time. But once you've done it in one place, people are going to say, well, surely we can have other borders. And once you've gone down that track, you don't have a United Kingdom anymore, because you put borders across the United Kingdom. So it's a very, very bad deal for our country. And there's a price. If you decide I don't want to align with the EU anymore, that's a major trading partner, I want to rip that apart, I want politically to step away from it, I want to diverge, don't want same standards, don't want the rules, that's the whole point. Well, that comes at the expense that you can't trade in that market in the same way. And therefore, you look elsewhere. Where do we make up that trade? What are the trade deals we're going to do to make up the gap? And you don't make up the gap with a trade deal with 2 or 3 relatively small countries. You've got to make up the gap with a big, big country. And that's going to be the United States. It's obvious where that goes. So the gaze of Johnson will go from Europe and saying, this is our history, geography and values. We move away from that. We look across the Atlantic and we set on the United States. And once we've done that, we set down a track that rips up the economic model we've been operating for decades. It rips it up. Because you can't align and do a deal with the US unless you align with the US way of working. They're not going to say you can trade in our market, but you don't have to follow our rules. You can trade in our market, but you don't have to be competitive. You can trade in our market, but we don't have access to your market. That's not going to happen. So you move away from the European model and you look to the US model. And what's that look like? Average holiday for working people in America. 10 days. That's the American model. Most contracts, many contracts at will, fragile working. Never been a bigger gap between the powerful corporations at the top and working people working in those corporations. That's the model in America. And I don't know many people who voted either Remain or Leave who say, that's what I want our country to do. I really want to get rid of these standards that we're on now, with proper conditions at work, and move to an American model where I have much less holiday, much less power, and my contract will be even less secure than it is now. And there's no going back. Once you've moved out of alignment, you are ripping up something we've been part of for decades. And this whole idea about what will happen to the NHS is relevant. Of course, Johnson will say it's not for sale. Of course, Trump will say I don't want to buy it. But firstly, what were those secret meetings about? Why were we talking to the US about the NHS, the health market, as they describe it? And anybody who looks at the pharmaceutical countries in the US will realise that for years they've made the argument that the NHS suppresses the market in the UK in a way that they think is wrong because it keeps prices of medicines and drugs down. So what they want to do is open that up. When they say access to the market, what they really want to do, not so much about running local hospitals or anything like that, is the pharmaceutical companies coming in. So we want to make this into a proper market, and that will drive the price of drugs and pharmaceuticals up. And again, I don't know anybody, whichever way they voted, said that that is the outcome they want. So this is a bad deal in its own terms. It's a bad deal when you look at it from the perspective of the UK, and it's a very bad deal when you work out what the ramifications are. So the stakes are really, really high in this election, because if we don't stop Johnson, he will say that's the mandate for my deal. One last thing about this, there's a trapdoor to nowhere. If this new deal is not fully negotiated, by this time next year, we leave without a deal. And I've not met anybody who credibly argues that this deal is going to be negotiated and ready to roll within 12 months. There's no safety net now, there's no backstop, it's gone. And therefore the trapdoors are no deal. So the stakes here are really, really high, because that's where we're heading if Johnson gets a majority. That's where we're heading. Let me look at the other side, because the Liberal Democrats say, well, in which case, just rub it out, revoke. been such a headache, it was wrong, revoke. Forget about it. Pretend it didn't happen. Now, I campaigned to remain and voted to remain. And I did that because I'm an international. I genuinely believe in collaboration and cooperation. I think if you close your eyes and think, what are the three biggest challenges to our country? Conflict, terrorism, climate change, you could name others. They're never going to be solved on our own. They will only ever be solved in collaboration and cooperation with the EU. If you want to be more positive, think of the three most brilliant opportunities. Medical research, scientific research, art, culture. None of that's to be realised on its own. And we don't even want it to be, do we? I've got the Crick Institute in my constituency, which Gordon started the idea for. It's a brilliant research facility where they're doing brilliant research on medical matters, including cancer, and they're doing fantastically. And they want all the international EU experts they've got, because they don't want to crack it on their own. They want to crack it quickly with the best people they possibly can. That's why I voted Remain and campaign for Remain. But I don't believe in revoke. I think simply to rub out the decision is wrong in principle. I think if we're going to remain in the EU, we've got to have a referendum, we've got to fight for it. We can't just pretend it didn't happen. And I also worry that if we go down the road of revoke, we have set a precedent for leaving or remaining in the EU without a public vote. And once you set that precedent, sooner or later, a right-wing government will say, well, if you can stay in without asking the public, you can leave without asking the public. So I don't, you've got on the one hand, as it were, a right-wing Johnson deal that takes you, it's not just a technical deal, it actually changes your economic model in a fundamental way, a hard right Brexit with hard right politics to come. On the other hand, you've got revoke, which I think is wrong in principle, sets a bad precedent, and actually says nothing to the 17 million people who voted to leave. We're just rubbing it out, sorry. And then you've got the Labour Party position sitting between them, which is being set out, it's in the manifesto today. And people say to me, I'm often challenged, well, it's very, very complicated. Very complicated. Sounds very fuzzy. And you can test me on this. I can do it in 10 seconds and 3 sentences. We're going to secure a better deal with Johnson's. We're going to put it to a referendum up against Remain and do it within 6 months. Very, very straightforward. Secure a better deal, put it up against Remain, and do that in 6 months. And people say to me, well, that's not feasible. We know it takes forever. But it is feasible because I've been talking to Michel Barnier for 3 years. I know what it is we're trying to achieve, and so does he. It's a customs union between the EU 27 and the UK. It's single market alignment, and it's staying on the level playing field and doing nothing but undermine the Good Friday Agreement in Northern Ireland. We know what that looks like. When I saw Michel Barnier about 6 weeks ago, when we first said this is going to be our manifesto position, and the manifesto says within 3 months we'll secure this better deal, and within 6 months we'll put it to a referendum. His question to me was, Keir, why do you think it'll take 3 months? He said, we could do that in 6 weeks. Some of the preliminary work was done during the cross-party talks earlier this year. So I have every confidence that this deal can be secured in the 3 months we've allowed in our manifesto. I think it will be less than that. And we've gone for a customs union because every manufacturer that I've spoken to in the entirety of the UK in the last 3 years says to me, we need a customs union. We can't operate our just-in-time process without it. We've gone for a single market because every service provider says, if you don't go for a single market alignment, I can't provide my service. We've gone for that combination because everybody who knows anything about Northern Ireland says, if you don't have that combination, you cannot have an open border in Northern Ireland, and you will end up putting in checks, and when you put in checks, you'll have infrastructure. Once you have infrastructure, you'll have security, and it's a slippery slope from there. So that is, I think, the best deal that can be secured. And then it goes up against Remain, so that people make a choice. And I think there's some honesty, frankly, in simply saying for 3.5 years, politicians have been struggling with this, and we haven't been able to come up with an answer. Therefore, the decision is not for us anymore, it's for the public. It's for you to decide. This is what a leave deal looks like. If you want that, vote for it, and we'll leave on those terms. But if you want to remain, vote to remain, and we'll remain. And if we can do that within 6 months, most people will say, so much the better. A simple choice. Do you want to leave on these terms? Do you want to remain? Now, it's no secret that I think we're better off remaining. I don't think there is a better deal than the one that we've got. I think throwing away the decades of collaboration and cooperation is a big mistake. I think we've forgotten that the origins of the EU lay in a peace project. The idea originally with the original 6 countries that if you put Germany and France into an economic relationship that involves steel and coal, it was then necessary to make weapons, you might just have the chance of reducing and never repeating the wars in Europe. And how successful has that been? Incredibly successful. I haven't in my life had to think about the idea that our country would be at war, that I would be asked to be part of that. And I've got an 11-year-old boy and an 8-year-old girl that doesn't cross my mind that they're going to be involved in the war. But we walk away from that at our peril. But if we're going to have a referendum, and if Remain is to be one of the options, I think there's some qualification and some lessons we need to learn. The first is, we have to campaign for Remain reform. The EU is not perfect. The status quo isn't working. And therefore it's got to be Remain and reform. And we need to accommodate the concerns that people have that require reform. There is nothing romantic. There's nothing socialist about moving people over borders so they can be exploited in the workplace. Nothing romantic and nothing socialist about that. So the labour market enforcement mechanisms, some of which we put in place, have to be part of the reform. We've got to be able to protect people. If they are to cross borders to work, it can't be to ship people in who will work on lesser conditions than those in the country they're going to. Because everybody's a loser in that situation. So it's got to be Remain and reform. There are other reforms that we need to make. Of course there are reforms we need to make in the EU. So that's the first lesson. We can't just have this as Remain. But the other is, if there's to be another referendum, if there's to be another campaign for Remain, it has to be fundamentally different to the one we won in 2016. We cannot have politicians from Westminster out there telling people to vote for the status quo, otherwise horrible things will happen. If this breaks to a referendum in the next 6 months, the voices for Remain have to be young people across the United Kingdom, making a values-based argument on what future they want for themselves. Because after all, they have got more vested in this than any of the rest of them. So if we are going to have this referendum, we need to put that best deal we can up. And we need to make the argument for Remain and make it in a fundamentally different way to the way we did in 2016. And I think that will help heal this. It will be a process that allows us to get to an outcome. Everybody wants to get past the point of Brexit being this block on politics. I only got into Parliament in 2015. What's that, 4.5 years? It feels like about sort of 45 years. But almost all of that's been arguing about Brexit. When I was standing to be selected, and then elected in 2015, none of my literature, none of my hustings, nothing was, oh, I want to really argue about the customs union, or the single market, or alignment, or divergence. Actually, I wanted to talk about housing, education, public services, how we actually transform the country, change lives for the better. And none of that's been possible. We haven't debated any of these things, let alone decided any of these things, because all the energy and resource is sucked up into Brexit. So I think providing a mechanism to get through this is not only the in-principle right thing to do, I think we can be relieved that we can then talk about other things and do other things in politics, so much of which is desperately needed. And the other reason is this, that anybody who thinks that the deal with Europe will resolve the issues thrown up in the referendum needs to think again. This isn't going to be resolved. There isn't going to be a happy day when either the deal or remain is decided and it's all over. Things go back to normal. That is never going to happen. A brilliant journalist on the Mark programme put it really well about 4 weeks ago. She said it's like being pregnant and saying, well, of course, once childbirth's out of the way, I'll go back to long evenings at the theatre and spending all my time with my friends and doing as I like. This is never going back, and it's never going back because of the strength of feeling behind that vote in 2016. Because that phrase, take back control, was a Heineken phrase. It really got into people, and the more people asked themselves, do I have enough control, the more they said no. The more they were asked the question, do I want the status quo, the more they said no. Now, I don't think leaving the EU is the answer to that. But I don't think the technical question of what relationship with the EU is going to answer either. There's much more fundamental change. If millions of people are telling you that the political and economic situation in the country is not working for them, we've got to listen to that. Because I think they're right about that. And therefore we're never going to get past Brexit. If we only focus on one bit of it, the deal, we've got to focus on the other bit, which is what did that referendum tell us about the state of the country? And it told us that we need much greater change than we've imagined for a very, very long time. It told us that people feel disenfranchised at almost every level. In the workplace, in their region, in their health service, in their ability to even influence their politicians. And that has got to change. So this will only ever be resolved if we match the deal that we end up with the EU with a completely different deal for our country. And that's why it's really important that we launch the manifesto that we did today. Because you have to now put on the table an offer that matches the size of the problem that we've got. After 10 years of austerity, it's impossible to understate the devastation that's had across all of our communities, all of our regions, all of our nations within the United Kingdom. And that's why you need transformative change, ambitious transformative change. And that's why we try to bring those two together in the manifesto that we've launched today. So my message today is we need to resolve Brexit. I think this is the only democratic way to do it. But we've also, in doing that, got to resolve to change the country. And that comes back to Ian, because if he's not re-elected, and we don't have a strong enough team in Parliament, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. This window of opportunity will close, and it will close forever. If we go out on a Johnson deal, or we go out on no deal, there's no coming back, there's no referendum in some election in a year's time or 2 years' time, we're out. And if we lose this chance to arrest the damage of austerity and turn it around, it'll continue for another parliamentary term. More damage upon damage. That's why we've got to re-elect this man. We need to get back with Parliament as part of our team. Because if we lose him, we'll lose the election. This chance is gone. Thank you.